we are into our next chapter of the course. So here we'll be having a basic introduction to what kind of programming language we'll be using. So that will be Python. So before that, we'll see what exactly is programming language and why we need this programming language, and also what are the future scopes, and especially why we are choosing Python over any other language. And also in the upcoming sessions, we'll be seeing basic syntax of them, before that installation of the required tools which we'll be using with respect to writing Python scripts. So I would like to call the whatever code we write with respect to Python, I would like to call it as scripts, or the code is always known as a recipe. So it is, in my personal opinion, a code is referred as a recipe because it will be as good as how exactly you mix with different ingredients. So similarly, like how it is just like an art, like cooking. Okay, over there you will have different ingredients which you mix up everything to make a delicious flavor and with the right proportions, right? Similarly, he will be here. We'll be with respect to coding. We'll be using uh, different types of syntax, data types, and also functions which can be reusability. So those are the things which we'll be using in our recipe, like standard steps of procedures which we'll be following. So those things which we'll be seeing further into our chapter, okay, in the further videos. So let us begin. We will be having an introduction to Python. So before starting with Python itself, we'll see what exactly is programming. So we'll have few questions like, what is programming? So programming is a language that a machine can understand in order to get it to perform various tasks. Okay, so basically this is the language of the machines. So only machines will understand these kind of programs. Again, we would be dealing with exact machine level languages. We have something known as an interpreter or a compiler, which will convert our programming languages into machine level languages. So we can also tell these languages are like machine level languages. So computer programming is similar to how we communicate with machines. So in that the way it makes sense for them. Okay, so it will be in a way that it makes a function how to be carried on by the machine, something like that. So basically we will be communicating with the machine. And what is a program? We know what is, we just saw what is programming. It is just communicating with system. So what exactly is a program? A program is a group of logical, mathematical, and sequential functional grouped together. Okay, so sequential functions grouped together. So here, with respect to logical, definitely we need to have some kind of logic which will be working with respect to our systems. It will be like a set of instructions. For example, maybe in our class, maybe not in our virtual live online classroom, but maybe you imagine yourself sitting in a offline classroom. Okay, so then I will give certain set of instructions like uh, in the middle row, or probably you can consider as fifth row, right from second from the right, under the table there is a chocolate. Okay, so this is kind of something like sequentials of steps. Here I am telling second row, then from the right of second, or middle row, uh, second from the right. So these make some kind of logic, it makes some kind of sense. Okay, so those are logical. Again, with respect to mathematical, as I was telling, right from second or first, second, third, it can be different rows. And also here, when I was telling these instructions where exactly the chocolate is being placed, at that scenario I was giving a sequential steps. Okay, so those are nothing but sequential functions. So all these logical, mathematical, and sequential functions which are grouped together to form a program. So when they are grouped, these functions perform a particular task. As I was telling, if I instruct a person to go get the chocolate, then I need to tell him it is in the middle row, or second from the right, and under the table there is a chocolate. Okay, so this will be the set of instructions which I'll be giving to perform a task. Okay, each program focuses on different types of tasks as well as gives different commands to the machines in different ways. So again, it completely differentiates with respect to each programming languages also. So it like different kind of tasks. For example, here we have Python, which will be again we'll be seeing what exactly is Python. Other than Python, we have something like R, C, C++, and all. So if you are going with something like R, you will be dealing with mostly statistical. If you are going with something like MATLAB, okay, over there you will be dealing with generating data or drawing some graphical things with respect to plotting and all. So there is many more tools, okay, for example Ruby, again front end application which can be like created, and JavaScript, Java, which are like kind of most widely used in the recent years, recent era. Python has come up. Before that, JavaScript and Java were the rulers, okay. So now, as I was telling, each different language will focus on different types of tasks, as well as they give commands in a different way, okay. So these are nothing but functions, or sorry, these are nothing but syntaxes, okay, the way how it is instructed. Again, we'll be seeing why exactly Python will be chosen over here. Before that, what is the future impact of programming, computer programming? We are here learning programming languages. We should know what are the future impacts. Then only like we can proceed further whether it is a right way to walk down in our path. Else, is there any alternative way which will have a better impact? Definitely, each and every area will have certain amount of impact. Whereas programming, when it comes to programming, we can see that technology production is an essential part of the evolving world. Okay, everywhere around us we have smart, like everything is getting smarts. Okay, smart gadgets. Our watches are smart. Our mobile phones are smart. Our TVs are smart. Also, our systems are getting automated. So those are again getting smarter. Okay, so this means the computer programming is essential, important to our future as a global society. Okay, so computer programming degree graduates can help to create the future by automating processes, collecting data, analyzing information, and sharing information or sharing knowledge to continuous innovate and improve upon existing processes. For the best example, earlier the smartphones were coming with respect to Java based. Okay, later on Android was developed. Even we have iOS in parallel, which is working very smoothly. And there is a lot of research going on with respect to complete Linux place. Android is built on Linux, whereas there is just basic Linux kernel. Over there, you can interface with peripherals. So again, this kind of smartphones will be intermediate bridge between a host PC, like a computer, personal computer, and a mobile phone. Okay, you can get these functionalities done. So that is like a little future, and also this means that while computer programming is extremely important, it may even more have more impact in the future, as the computer programming across the world works to learn new ways to communicate with machines. For example, we have a very booming concept known as machine learning. We are teaching machines with respect to data again and again. Okay, so earning your like getting just a computer degree or whatever it is, or course certification, is just like part of the development or developing functions which will help us to lead with respect to programming world in the future. Okay, so computer programming is important today because of there is a lot of automated, like humans need to control and interact with machines, since computer and machinery so does lot of things so efficiently and accurately. Okay, so that is why we'll be like those are the future impacts on computer languages, also why it is crucial. Okay, now let us get into the programming language which we are actually focusing on in this chapter. So that is Python. So primarily, why we will ask ourselves a question: why Python? Okay, so Python is a hot primarily because it has all the right stuff for the kind of software development that's really driving the world software development these days. Python is popular mainly because a lot of capabilities in those areas, while many older languages lag behind these technologies. As I was telling, Java and JavaScript were like kind of having most number of codes, okay, like mostly coded with respect to if you just calculate the percentage of which programming language is widely used. So Java and JavaScript were the ones previously. Now it is like Python, which is helping a lot with respect to all this. Again, the advantages we'll get it to in a second. So there are few reasons cited why Python is currently popular. Okay, so the reasons are like Python is relatively easy to learn. Python, like everything you need to learn or to do with respect to Python is completely free. Okay, Python is open source. Also, it has a lot of upcoming versions coming up. Right now, we can see at the time of this recording of the video, it is like Python 10 is already rolled up. Okay, again, little unstable. Maybe in our tutorial series, we'll be installing Python 9 or something, whichever comes with our software package, which we'll be installing in the further videos. Okay, and Python offers ready-made tools for current hot technologies. So here we have like all the hot technologies which are going are like uh, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and robotics. Okay, so Python offers a ready-made tools for all these hot technologies, whereas other most of the other languages lack in this feature. And there are a few more reasons. Python works on different platforms. It can be Windows, it can be Mac, it can be Raspberry Pi, and etc. Again, you can run on Android also. Android is again based on Linux itself. Okay, so Linux includes that. And this point I would like to stress repeatedly, if at all required. Again, I can debate hours of together. So that is, it has very simple syntax. So the syntax is very similar to our English language. Okay, it is completely sequential, and you will have a lot of making sense. The like every single individual line will be like maybe you have a function which needs to be called. It is very simple. It is straightforward approach. Unlike in if you are familiar with like maybe I'll take analogous of C language itself. If you're going with C language, it will take a lot of libraries which are to be linked at the very beginning itself, and you have something like even those make sense when you go at advanced level, but for especially at beginner level, even to just print a hello world, okay, just print a statement onto the screen, it will take at least 5 to 10 lines of code, whereas in Python one single line, okay, one single line, and it is straightforward like language. It will be like print whatever is the string. Okay, so again, there are few conditions with respect to how exactly these statements should to be declared. Okay, so we'll get that part when we are going into programming phase. Okay, so that is another advantage which I always like to argue about. So Python has very simple syntax which is similar to English language. And another advantage is Python has a syntax that allows developer to write very few uh, lines of code to get their programming working when compared to other languages. So programs have very fewer lines when it comes to Python, and Python runs on a interpreted system, meaning that the code can be executed as soon as it is written. Okay, so this means it will help very. This means like for it will help very much in with respect to prototyping very quickly. So again, we'll be seeing examples. We'll be working on interactive development environment. We might be working on Jupyter notebooks. So those and all will give a lot of other sense, which will help us know how flexibility is Python available for us to work with our respect to coding and also prototyping. And Python can be treated in a procedural way. So like object oriented, which we'll be seeing later, or like if required, we'll be seeing in this course, which is at the moment for the projects it's not essential. So if it is required, we'll see. And other way, if you're not considering object oriented, a functional way. So functional way is definitely whenever you need to perform a set of instructions repeatedly, then you can create a function and you can just call the functions on and on. We'll see this everything when it comes to syntax declaration. Now, what are the advantages of using Python over other languages? I hope you already are familiar with this with respect to the previous slide itself. We have seen this. So as I was telling, it has very easier syntax. So Python syntax compared to other languages is very easy. So that is first advantage. Python was designed for readability and has some similarities with English language with influence from mathematics. So as I was telling, it is completely like textual based language. And Python uses new line to complete a command. So if at all you are familiar with C language or any other language, most of the language uses something like semicolon. Okay, so semicolon signifies that one command is done and you are going to next command. Whereas Python is like in new line. So that's how it is even in our textual base. If at all we are going from one statement to other statement, we mostly use a dot, okay, a period to stop that. But we can also go to a next para. So here we can consider as new line, okay. So Python uses new lines to complete a command, as in other languages it is mostly often use semicolon or parenthesis. So Python relies on indentation. So it will be use white spaces to define the scope. So again, this will be seeing uh, with respect to declaration of loops, or it'll make more sense when it comes to the loops and whatever the Python syntax we are learning. So indentation is a very huge advantage, but we have to be careful when we are using this white space, or we should never mix up tabs with spaces. Okay? Again, with respect to coding, we'll be having a discussion with that. So in other languages, if you are familiar with C, you can see curly braces for this. Okay, instead of indentation, it will be using curly braces. Whereas again, formatting of that code will be again similar to Python, where Python eliminates completely. Like you will get your code also formatted using indentation, and also you don't need to use some kind of special curly braces to separate these scopes. Okay, we'll see that with respect to programming. And finally, we'll see some of the applications. So Python can be used on a server to create web applications. So now and all you can see a lot of web applications which are running on Python itself, especially a lot of chat box engines and all. Like you might log into a website and suddenly on the right hand bottom side you might see need any help, or are you looking for something similar. There is a chat box which is automatically created. So most of these are running with respect to Python. Python can be used alongside of software to create workflows. So you might have written some kind of set of functions which are running in JavaScript. Whereas Python just can call this JavaScript function. Maybe it will run that and get a value from there. It might give to another. Like if you wanna do some mathematical operations on that, especially with respect to uh, MATLAB or some kind of software which you want to run out. So again, Python will just run alongside. It can handle the complete workflow. Python can be connected to database systems, so it can also read files and also modify them, and also create new files and save them over there. So again, with respect to database, it can do that also. Python can handle big data and perform complex mathematics. So there is a lot of libraries. Again, in our further sessions, we'll be seeing a few of the libraries, functions, algorithms which are used with the help of Python. And finally, it is used for rapid prototyping or for production ready software development. Okay, so rapid prototyping is a huge advantages for developers, and also you can get everything. Like for a complete software development, it can be done until software production. So those are the advantages of Python and applications of Python, and why exactly we wanted Python, which is the first thing which you saw. So that's all for this video, and the next video we'll see with respect to the installation of tool which are required for this course.